Imagine giving someone your entire heart, your deepest trust, only to have your most private moments ripped into the public eye in the cruelest way possible. Allegedly, behind closed doors, times meant to be sacred, intimate, and untouchable have now been laid bare, leaving not a single corner of privacy intact. T.I., once untouchable, commanding, and in total control, now faces unimaginable humiliation as images of him in a side relationship, leaked by Shekinah, shocked the world and shattered the loyalty his fans once believed in. The betrayal cuts deeper than anyone could imagine, not merely because of the scandal itself, but because of the precision, the timing, and the silent game of influence that surrounds it. Tiny Harris, a figure long synonymous with authority and protection, watches helplessly as the story slips from her grasp. Every glance, every measured post, every calculated comment becomes a weapon, a signal of power, and a subtle message of who holds sway and who is exposed. The intensity of this revelation is suffocating. Fans reel in disbelief, some furious, some devastated, many struggling to reconcile the man they admire with the shock of his fall. These images are more than just pixels. They are proof of fractured trust, a betrayal of the most intimate kind, and a meticulously maintained life unraveling before everyone's eyes. Shekinah's choice to release them isn't simply exposure. It is dominance, manipulation, and raw emotional devastation fused into one explosive act. As the world stays, the tension reaches a fever pitch. What was once hidden is now undeniable, and every reaction, spoken or silent, fans the flames of speculation, gossip, and heartbreak. Allegedly, this isn't a mere scandal. It's a deliberate demolition of loyalty, affection, and control. T.I.'s carefully built empire of trust teeters on the edge, and the emotional toll on everyone involved is staggering. Brace yourself. What you're about to witness will shock you, break you, and make you question everything you thought you knew. Imagine a world where the walls you thought would guard your deepest secrets collapse in a single, devastating instant. T.I., once a symbol of power, control, and unwavering loyalty, now faces a humiliation few could survive. Allegedly, private moments, intended to be intimate, sacred, and untouchable, have been leaked by Shekinah, exposing him in a side relationship. The world reels. Fans scroll in disbelief. Social media erupts. Comments flood like wildfire. Everything T.I. carefully curated, hidden behind polished appearances, now lies completely exposed. This was no ordinary betrayal. It sliced through layers of image, trust, and loyalty. These images are more than scandal. They are weapons in a ruthless game of influence and manipulation that stretches far beyond public view. Shekinah's decision to release them was deliberate, precise, and devastating. Every photo, every pixel, every whispered detail now public hits T.I. like a hammer, leaving him vulnerable, exposed, and stunned by the reach of a calculated move. Tiny Harris, the ever-watchful sentinel of authority within her inner circle, watches the fallout unfold with fury, disbelief, and measured restraint. Allegedly, her silence at first was not weakness, it was a tactical maneuver. Every glance, every pause, every calculated expression served as a subtle declaration of hierarchy in a world where loyalty is currency and exposure is the deadliest weapon. Her role as gatekeeper is now under threat, not from outsiders, but from someone she once thought she could control. The stakes are staggering. T.I., a man known for projecting calm dominance, now endures a public humiliation that cuts to the core, both personally and professionally. Allegedly, these leaked images are not isolated. They are part of a broader web of secrecy, manipulation, and private betrayals. Each image tells a story of fractured trust, hidden desire, and disrupted power dynamics. The very foundation of his personal and public relationships is shaken, leaving T.I. scrambling to regain control while the world watches every reaction, every misstep, and every faltering word. Fans are left reeling. Shock spirals into outrage. Outrage transforms into obsession. The images are dissected, shared, and reproposed endlessly. Every conversation online mirrors a drama that was never meant to see the light of day. Allegedly, the devastation lies not in the act itself, but in the precision, the timing, the exposure, and the ripple effect on T.I.'s carefully constructed empire trust. Shekinah's move isn't just revenge. It's a masterclass in power, an assertion of agency, and a chilling reminder that no image, no secret, and no alliance is ever truly safe. Yet amid the chaos, the human cost is undeniable. Allegedly, this is far beyond gossip. It is heartbreak unfolding in real time. T.I.'s reputation, painstakingly built over years, now trembles under relentless public scrutiny. Tiny Harris's role as protector and enforcer is questioned. Shekinah, once hidden in the shadows, now emerges wielding timing, influence, and control as her weapons. Every gesture, every comment, every post in response to this leak is a move in a high-stakes game of perception, loyalty, and emotional warfare. The shockwaves reach far beyond social media. Industry insiders, friends, and allies watch with careful calculation, judging, repositioning themselves as the fallout spreads. Allegedly, the exposure of these images shifts the balance of power within T.I.'s inner circle. What was once private and controlled is now public and weaponized. Every bond is tested, every loyalty questioned, every alliance examined under a harsh microscope. As the world absorbs the scandal, the emotional reverberations go deeper than clicks or viral shares. Allegedly, this is a tale of heartbreak, betrayal, and fragility of trust, a raw glimpse into the cost of secrets, the weight of exposure, and the stakes of power, love, and influence in a world where image is everything. T.I. is no longer untouchable. His private life has been laid bare, and nothing will ever be the same. The stage is set. Allegedly, the drama has only just begun. Every reaction, every whisper, every revelation will peel back another layer of this story, a story as much about emotional devastation as it is about public spectacle. One thing is clear. Trust has been shattered, control has slipped, and the world watches as a king faces his most personal and public fall yet. The storm ignited by Shekinah's leak shows no sign of abating. Allegedly, every private corner of T.I.'s life has been thrown into the merciless glare of public scrutiny, and the fallout is far more than reputational. It cuts deep, striking at the core of the composure and control he once wielded effortlessly. The images, raw and intimate, reveal a side of him the world was never meant to witness. With them comes reckoning, a collapse of trust, and fractures in relationships that once seemed unshakable. Tiny Harris, whose authority within the inner circle was once absolute, now faces a crisis unlike any she has confronted before. Allegedly, the images are more than a scandal. They are a direct challenge to her power. Every glance, every whispered conversation, every calculated silence is now charged with tension, uncertainty, and unspoken fear. Tiny's influence, once unquestioned, is tested not by outsiders, but by Shekinah, a woman she once placed beneath her, now emerging as the architect of chaos. Observers note the layers of emotion etched in Tiny's expressions: anger, disbelief, heartbreak, and a precise, calculated drive to regain control. Each gesture, every subtle movement, broadcasts one undeniable truth. Authority is not given, it is seized and enforced. Meanwhile, T.I. navigates a maze of public humiliation and strategic decision-making. Allegedly, his carefully measured responses conceal a deeper turmoil, a man forced to reconcile private desires with public consequences, personal shame with professional image. Every statement, every post, every interaction is a high-stakes tightrope walk. One misstep could magnify the damage exponentially. And yet, beneath the composed facade lies genuine vulnerability. For all his influence, for all his stature, T.I. now confronts a raw reality. Secrets can no longer be buried, and once shattered trust sends ripples that cannot be contained. Shekinah's timing was flawless. Allegedly, the leak wasn't just an act of revenge. It was a masterclass in power, a calculated reminder that controlling the narrative is the deadliest weapon of all. Every image released, every detail exposed, was a precise move in a game where perception shapes reality. The world reacts with shock, horror, and fascination, dissecting every pixel, every angle, every implication. What was once private and sacred is now public currency, and Shekinah wields it with surgical precision, tipping the scales of influence within T.I.'s inner circle and leaving both him and Tiny scrambling to respond. The emotional weight of this moment is staggering. Allegedly, the images do more than humiliate. They fracture relationships, spark whispered suspicions, and reveal vulnerabilities long hidden. Tiny's confrontations with Shekinah, once displays of authority, now feel reactive, defensive, and uncertain. The hierarchy of loyalty collapses. Every decision, gesture, and comment is dissected, magnified, and weaponized. Trust, the most fragile currency in this world, hangs by a thread. Allegedly, the fallout reaches far beyond the images themselves. Fans debate, gossip spreads, and social media becomes a battlefield of moral judgment. Observers speculate about motives, alliances, and hidden agendas. Every post, story, and subtle hint is scrutinized under a lens of suspicion. T.I.'s carefully curated reputation, built over years, is under siege. Tiny's authority, once unshakable, is questioned. And Shekinah, previously on the sidelines, now commands attention, power, and influence, rewriting the rules of engagement in this high-stakes drama. Behind the sensational headlines lies a human cost that cannot be ignored. Allegedly, the humiliation is piercing. The betrayal is intimate. The emotional toll is immense. T.I., a figure accustomed to respect and control, is forced to confront exposure, shame, and the disintegration of his personal life. Tiny, the enforcer and gatekeeper, faces a profound shock to her sense of order and authority. And Shekinah, while holding the power, bears the weight of having shattered the trust that once defined the connections. This fallout isn't just viral, it's visceral, leaving everyone involved emotionally raw, unsteady, and adrift. The scandal exposes a chilling reality. In a world where image reigns supreme, exposure is both a weapon and a reckoning. Allegedly, every leaked photo, every whispered secret, every hint of intimacy becomes leverage, reshaping the balance of power. What was once private is now public, and those who once commanded authority are forced to confront just how fragile control truly is in the digital age. The tangled web of betrayal, strategy, and high-stakes emotion transforms this from a mere scandal into a relentless drama of influence, manipulation, and human vulnerability. Allegedly, the ripple effects are only starting. Friends, industry insiders, and allies watch with measured scrutiny, recalculating loyalties and redefining positions. Social media magnifies every reaction, every comment, every hesitation. Every move T.I. or Tiny Harris makes is analyzed, dissected, and weaponized in the court of public opinion. What was once private and shielded is now irrevocably exposed. What was once safe has become a crucible of shame, tension, and relentless scrutiny. The stage is primed for further escalation. Allegedly, this is far beyond a scandal. It is a study in betrayal, control, and fragility of human relationships under extreme pressure. Every leaked image reveals more than skin. It exposes truth, manipulation, and the raw realities of power, loyalty, and desire. The drama is far from over, and the emotional fallout is only beginning to ripple outward. The world watches, hearts shatter, and secrets are laid bare. The question lingers: can T.I.'s inner circle survive this storm, or is everything destined to crumble under the weight of exposure? The world has never witnessed a private betrayal erupt into public catastrophe like this. Allegedly, the images Shekinah released, intimate, personal, and shocking, have torn through T.I.'s meticulously built life like a hurricane, leaving chaos, heartbreak, and suspicion in their wake. What was once hidden behind closed doors, managed narratives, and selective exposure is now raw, vulnerable, and uncontrollable. Every glance, every gesture, every whispered conversation within the inner circle is amplified, dissected, and weaponized in a drama that has surged far beyond the boundaries of personal scandal. Tiny Harris, once the undisputed matriarch of control, now stands on the brink of emotional collapse. Allegedly, these images are far more than betrayal. They are a direct assault on her authority. Each leaked photo, each revelation, strikes like a dagger aimed at her influence, publicly questioning her judgment and challenging her dominance in T.I.'s world. Her anger is tangible, yet beneath it simmers a quiet heartbreak, an anguish few could ever comprehend. The woman who once commanded unwavering respect now wrestles with shock, disappointment, and an all-consuming drive to restore order in a world violently spun out of control. Meanwhile, T.I. faces a storm unlike anything before. Allegedly, the humiliation cuts deeper than any headline, slicing through fame, fortune, and carefully curated public persona. The images expose a side of him the world was never meant to see, a private reality now dissected, pixel by pixel, by millions. Every decision, every public statement, every gesture is calculated, weighed for consequence, and measured against reputation. Yet behind the veneer of composure, a man grapples with shattered trust, eroded intimacy, and the stark realization that control, once assumed, can be fleeting, fragile, and painfully vulnerable. At the center of this maelstrom stands Shekinah, the architect of the leak, orchestrating chaos with surgical precision. Allegedly, her timing was impeccable. The leak not only humiliated T.I., but it also shifted the balance of power squarely in her favor. Every reaction from Tiny, every wave of public scrutiny aimed at T.I., every media frenzy amplifies her influence. She has transformed a private betrayal into a public spectacle, rewriting the rules in a circle that once revolved around authority and loyalty. Yet even as she claims leverage, the emotional toll is undeniable. What began as a calculated strike now bears the weight of heartbreak, fractured bonds, and irreversible consequences. Allegedly, the emotional intensity of this moment is unparalleled. Fans, media outlets, and industry insiders watch in real time as personal tragedy unfolds before the world. Every social media post, every story, every comment becomes fuel for speculation, gossip, and viral scrutiny. T.I.'s inner circle, once a fortress of loyalty and discretion, now lies fractured, alliances strained, and trust in tatters. Each figure involved, the betrayed, the betrayer, and the enforcer, must navigate a labyrinth of emotion, public pressure, and calculated reaction, where a single misstep can ignite or diffuse a storm. The heartbreak extends far beyond those directly involved. Allegedly, the fallout ripples to everyone tied to this trio: friends, collaborators, and fans alike. What began as a private breach of trust now resonates as a universal narrative of love, loyalty, and betrayal. Every observer can feel the tension, the heartbreak, and the delicate human fragility at the core of this unfolding drama. Emotional rawness saturates every exchange, leaving no corner untouched and no heart unaffected. T.I.'s struggle to reconcile private shame with public image underscores the fragility of control in a world dominated by perception. Allegedly, every statement, every effort at damage control carries the weight of exposure. Tiny Harris's authority faces unprecedented challenges. Shekinah's influence surges, and the once steady hierarchy collapses under the pressure of revealed secrets. What was once hidden, controlled, and meticulously curated is now exposed, leaving all to navigate a new reality where trust is fractured, loyalty questioned, and emotional survival paramount. Allegedly, this is far more than a scandal. It is a cautionary tale of power, influence, and human vulnerability. The leaked images are not just visual evidence. They symbolize fractured trust, fragile loyalty, and the deep emotional toll that follows betrayal. Every reaction, every confrontation, every unspoken glance stands as a stark reminder of the human cost when secrets are revealed and carefully built reputations crumble. The story is far from finished. Allegedly, the aftermath will continue to ripple outward as Tiny Harris, T.I., and Shekinah navigate a world irreversibly altered by exposure. Emotions run unfiltered, alliances strain under pressure, and the delicate threads of loyalty and trust hang by the barest of filaments. The public bears witness to heartbreak, humiliation, and calculated maneuvers colliding in a spectacle both devastating and mesmerizing. The emotional impact is total. No corner is spared, no heart left untouched. Allegedly, every leaked image, every whispered secret, every reaction has rewritten in the rules, and the consequences will resonate far beyond this moment. In a world where loyalty is conditional, secrets are currency, and image is everything, nothing remains the same. As the world watches, hearts fracture, eyes fill with tears, and the inner circle of T.I., Tiny Harris, and Shekinah faces their ultimate test. Can trust ever be restored, or is exposure annihilated entirely? The saga is far from over. Allegedly, the leaked content, the confrontations, and the emotional wreckage mark only the opening chapters of a story that will continue to unfold before your eyes. Tiny Harris, T.I., and Shekinah now navigate a battlefield where loyalty is questioned, power is contested, and private betrayals are transformed into public spectacle. Every post, every whisper, every leak shifts the balance of influence, and you are watching it unfold in real time. Do not scroll past this. Every like, comment, and share fuels a narrative, shaping the world's perception of heartbreak, humiliation, and strategy. Allegedly, this is more than gossip. It is a masterclass in human emotion, shattered trust, and dismantled reputations. You cannot look away. because each revelation peels back another layer of secrecy, exposing truths never meant to surface. The pain, the shock, the betrayal, it all demands your undivided attention. Allegedly, Tiny Harris's fury, T.I.'s public humiliation, and Shekinah's calculated maneuvers are far from isolated. They are threads in a much larger tale of control, manipulation, and the fragility of appearances. The emotions are raw, the stakes are staggering, and the consequences cannot be undone. Watching this unfold is not passive. It is immersion into a moment that will shape public perception, shift loyalties, and leave no one untouched. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and engage with every revelation, because every heartbeat of this saga matters. Allegedly, each new clip, every emotional confrontation, and each strategic move will rewrite the story in ways you never saw coming. This is beyond scandal. It is a descent into heartbreak, betrayal, and power struggles that grip the soul and leave a mark on everyone watching. Do not let a single moment slip by. Comment, debate, and share your reactions. Your attention fuels the unraveling, your voice shapes the narrative, and the story is only beginning. Allegedly, the fallout will continue to shock, astonish, and captivate, and every click ensures you are part of the chaos as it explodes across the world. Witness it, react, engage. The truth waits, and it is more devastating than anyone could have imagined.